Welcome to the course Design of Reinforced Concrete Structures. Myself S. Krantavijaya, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Vigyan Institute of Information Technology, Duvada. In this lecture, we are going to see regarding the definition of a structure, what is meant by reinforced cement concrete, the advantages and disadvantages of RCC, and the applications of RCC. So first, let us start with the definition of structure. So first we will see what is the definition of a structure. So a structure is a building which is constructed of several members. So all these members are connected together to form a system which can resist all the loads which are acting on it and which can provide sufficient rigidity. In the sense, we have several members in a structure, like we have beams, columns, slabs, footings, walls, staircase, etc. So all these are the members. So all these members are connected to each other, isn't it or not? So the walls, beams, slabs, footings and all connected to each other, so that the whole members are acting as a single system and resisting all the loads which are acting on it. So when the loads are applied, all these members together are acting and resisting the loads, and they are providing sufficient rigidity, isn't it or not? So that is called as a structure. So the most common elements in a building structure are the footings, beams, columns, slabs, walls and staircases. Now individually we can see the basic or the most common structural elements what we can see in the buildings. So in this particular figure we can see these are the beams. So these are the beams what we can see. So these are the main structural elements. So this is the slab and these are our columns. So all these are our columns. So all these are our beams. So here we can see slabs and these are going to be our footings. So these are the basic structural elements which you can see in any structure. So the individual figures we can see now. So the individual structural elements being, these are the beams, slabs, columns and the footings. So the main materials used in construction are concrete and steel. So first let us see what is concrete. So concrete is the globally used construction material. So if we observe, concrete is most commonly used construction material, isn't it or not? So what is concrete composed of? Concrete consists of cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and water. So all these materials, that is the cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and water, are mixed in definite proportions so that the concrete is produced. So all these ingredients are what? It are mixed in definite proportions so that the concrete is produced. So after the concrete is produced, what we'll do? The concrete is poured into the formwork so that we can cast the beams, slabs, columns or any other desired shape. So what here? After the concrete is mixed, so the concrete will be in a fresh stage, that is you can mold the concrete into any shape which is required and the concrete will be flowable in nature. So the fresh concrete, it can be poured into the molds of the desired shape. So if the beams has to be casted, we have to prepare the formwork for the shape of the beam which is required, and the concrete can be poured into that so that it takes the shape of the formwork or the shape of the mold. In the similar way, for the slabs, columns, or whatever the desired shape it is, the concrete can be poured into that and the desired shape can be obtained. So after the pouring of the concrete is done into the formwork, the concrete is allowed to cure so that it gets sufficiently hardened. So the curing period for the concrete is generally 28 days to attain its full strength. So what, after pouring, it is allowed to cure so that after curing it will get sufficiently hard so that it can resist all the external loads which are acting on it. So generally the concrete is graded based on the characteristic compressive strength. Now let us see the grade of concrete. So what? Concrete is generally graded according to its characteristic compressive strength. So if you observe this particular table, so the grade designation of concrete is generally done M10, M15, M20, M25 and so on, where M in this particular refers to the mix and 10 refers to the characteristic compressive strength of 150 by 150 by 150 mm cubes at 28 days of curing in Newton per mm square. So what we'll do? We will cast the cubes of grade. For suppose if the grade of the concrete is M10, so we are going to cast the cubes of size 150 by 150 by 150 mm, and we are going to cure those cubes for 28 days, and after curing them for 28 days we are going to test them under a compression testing machine. Okay, and then we are going to get the characteristic compressive strength in Newton per mm square. So in this grade designation of M10, 10 is the characteristic compressive strength in Newton per mm square, and M here is the mix. In the similar way, if we will take the example of M30, M is going to be the mix and 30 is going to be the characteristic compressive strength in Newton per mm square. So in this way the concrete is graded. So concrete of grade M10, M15, M20 comes under the ordinary concrete group, and above M20 comes under the standard concrete group, and above M60 and above comes under the high strength concrete group. So generally for the design of reinforced concrete structures, we are going to use that is a minimum of M20 grade of concrete should be used. So minimum grade of concrete for reinforced cement concrete structures is what it is, M20, and above also we can use the grade for the RCC structures. So what? In the designation of the concrete mix, M refers to the mix, and the number next to it is the characteristic compressive strength of 150 by 150 by 150 mm cubes at 28 days in Newton per mm square. So now let us see the advantages and disadvantages of concrete. So what are the advantages of concrete? The first advantage is concrete has very high compressive strength. That is, when compressive forces are being applied on the concrete cube, okay, the resistance offered by concrete is very high. So that is the reason why it is an advantage. That is, the concrete has very high compressive strength. And the next one is concrete has excellent resistance to water. That is, if that is it is concrete is mostly impermeable. That is, it doesn't allow water to flow into it. That is, it has more resistance to water. The next one is ability to cast in different shapes and sizes. So, as we have discussed earlier, what the concrete, if it is in the fresh stage, if it is poured into any mold of the desired shape, we can get that particular shape. So, concrete has that advantage of casting in different sizes and different shapes. So, any size required or any shape required, we can easily cast that particular shape with the that particular shape and size with the material concrete. And the concrete has very good aesthetic properties, and the material concrete is very economical, and a concrete has very good resistance to fire. It can withstand or it can resist higher temperatures also. Now let us see the disadvantages of concrete. The first main disadvantage of concrete is it has very low tensile strength. That is, when the tensile forces are applied on the concrete, it easily breaks. So, as concrete is a brittle material, when the tensile forces, you can see here, the tensile forces are applied here and the concrete is easily breaking. So, that is the reason why the disadvantage being the low tensile strength. And the next one is low ductility. So, concrete is a brittle material. That is, it easily fails on load. That is, when load is applied on the concrete member, it easily cracks and it suddenly fails. That is, it doesn't give us any warning. So, that is the second disadvantage, that is, it is having low ductility. And the next disadvantage is the concrete needs formwork. So, why formwork is required? Because when concrete is in fresh stage, if the concrete is poured, it should has a base. Then only that particular shape and size can be retained unless it hardens. So, if you want to cast any structural element, it might be a beam or a slab or column or footing or anything with the material concrete, formwork is required so that the concrete can be holded to the desired shape and size until it gets sufficiently hardened. And the next disadvantage is being the long curing time. So, after the pouring of the concrete member, it cannot be directly put into use. That is, we cannot directly use the concrete structure after the concreting is done. Why? Because the concrete needs sufficient time for hardening and curing so that it can attain its full strength. So, for that reason, it has a longer curing period of 28 days to attain its full strength. So, that is the disadvantage. So, after the concrete construction has been done, it cannot be immediately put into use. You have to wait till it has sufficiently hardened and it has sufficiently cured and attained its strength. So, that is the disadvantage of concrete, being it has a longer curing period. Now, let us see the introduction to the material steel. So, steel is a metal alloy which is generally manufactured in the factories. So under controlled conditions, what we are going to do is we are going to manufacture the steel. So what steel consists of? Steel consists of iron, carbon and other elements in smaller percentages. So generally the steel which is used in construction is in two forms. One form is in the form of reinforcing bars and the other one is in the form of the structural steel. Reinforcing bars and in the form of the structural steel. So reinforcing bars, that is the steel in the form of reinforcing bars, is used in reinforced cement concrete constructions, and the steel in the form of structural steel is used in steel structures. So reinforcing bars, in the sense, in concrete we are going to use the reinforcement bars. That is, in RCC we are going to use the reinforcement bars. So structural steel, in the steel structures we have concrete structures as well as the steel structures. So in the concrete structures we are going to use the reinforcing bars, and in the steel structures it is purely made of the steel. You can see the transmission towers, footover bridges and all, most of the cases these are the steel structures, isn't or not? So in that what you will have, the steel is in the form of structural steel, that is you have channel sections, angle sections, L sections, so all that will be there. So in the industries also you can see airport hangars and all those comes under the steel structures. So structural steel, it is used in the form of angle, L sections and all in the steel structures. So as we are discussing regarding the subject RCC, in further we are going to discuss regarding the form of steel in reinforcing bars. So the reinforcing bars as form of steel which is used in RCC. Now we will see what are the types of reinforcing bars which are used in reinforced cement concrete constructions. So there are two types of reinforcement bars which are used. One is the mild steel bars, the grade being designated as Fe250, and the other one being the high yield strength deformed bars, which are in short called as HYSD bars, which are in the grades Fe415 and Fe500. So here Fe is nothing but the ferrous material and 250. If we'll consider the mild steel bars, 250 here is nothing but the characteristics yield strength of the steel in Newton per mm square. In the similar way for the HYSD bars, if we'll take Fe415, Fe here is going to be the ferrous material and when 415 is going to be the characteristics yield strength in Newton per mm square. In the similar way for the Fe500 also. Fe is the ferrous material and 500 is the characteristics yield strength of steel in Newton per mm square. So these two are the reinforcement bars what we are going to provide in concrete structures. One is the mild steel bars, the grade being designated as Fe250, and the other one is the high yield strength deformed bars, which are in short called as HYSD bars, the grade being designated as Fe415 and Fe500. Now let us see in detail what are the mild steel bars and what are the HYSD bars. So the mild steel bars or the MS bars, these are also called as plain bars. Okay, so why plain bars? These are called as plain bars because the surface of these bars are plain. Okay, if you see, these are the mild steel bars. So the mild steel bars are generally round. Okay, so the mild steel bars are round in section and they are plain, that is the surface of the bars are plain. So as the surface of the bars are plain, they have very less bond property with the concrete. So the bond property of the with the concrete for the plain bars or the mild steel bars is very less. So generally the mild steel is mostly used for fabrication purposes. So for fabrication of other materials, the mild steel is generally used. So in RCC constructions, the mild steel is less used. It is either used for stirrups or it is used for stirrups. So the mild steel has very less carbon content of 0.05% to 0.25%, and the yield strength of this mild steel bars is being 250 MPa or 250 Newton per mm square. So the grade of the mild steel bars is what? It is Fe 250. So that is 250 is nothing but the yield strength of the steel. So 250 Newton per mm square, or you can also call it as 250 MPa. Now let us see what are the HYSD bars. So HYSD bars are also termed as high yield strength deformed bars. So what are these HYSD bars? So the HYSD bars are also round in section, but the difference between the mild steel bars and the HYSD bars is the HYSD bars have projections on the surface. So if you can see here on the bars you have projections, or those are also called as ribs. Okay, so for HYSD bars what we have? They have ribs or projections on their surface. So such kind of bars are called as HYSD bars. So these HYSD bars are generally available in different sizes, the sizes being from 6 mm to 50 mm diameter. Okay, so from 6 mm to 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm, 16 mm, 20 mm, 25 mm of different diameter sizes up to a diameter of 50 mm, the HYSD bars are generally available. And nowadays in most of the constructions, like heavy constructions of multi-storied buildings and all, the HYSD bars are most commonly used as a reinforcing steel material. And why these HYSD bars are most commonly used? One reason is being it has a high carbon content. Due to the high carbon content, the HYSD bars are strong and hard. Okay, as the bars are strong and hard, these are most widely used as a reinforcing steel in most of the constructions. And the HYSD bars, the grade of the HYSD bars are being Fe 415 and Fe 500. That is the yield strength of these bars are being 415 MPa, that is, or 415 Newton per mm square, and 500 Newton per mm square. And these bars has a very high tensile strength. So now we have seen regarding the mild steel bars and the HYSD bars. So what mild steel bars are? Round in section and the surface of that is very plain, so that they doesn't make very good bond with the concrete. But HYSD bars, they have projections or ribs on the surface of the bars, so that they have very good bond property with the concrete, as well as they have very high tensile strength. The yield strength being 415 Newton per mm square and 500 Newton per mm square. But for mild steel, the yield strength being 250 Newton per mm square only. So for that reason, the HYSD bars are mostly used in constructions nowadays for heavy constructions. Now let us see the advantages and disadvantages of steel. So what are the advantages? The advantages being steel is very strong in tension. So we have seen that the yield strength, that is steel has very good tensile property. So the advantage is steel is very strong in tension as well as it is strong in compression, shear and torsion. And the material steel, it develops very good bond property with the concrete as we have discussed earlier. And steel has a longer life, it is easily available, and steel can be easily cut, bent and joined. That is, to whatever length required you can cut that, we can easily bend it into required shape and we can easily join them. Okay, so that is also advantage of the steel. And the steel is ductile in behavior. So ductile in behavior in the sense is what, due to the application of the loads, the steel doesn't fail easily. So before failing it will bend or it will deform, so that it gives us a sufficient warning before the failure. So what, steel is a ductile material. So as it is a ductile material, the behavior is ductile, so that it doesn't suddenly fail on the loads and it gives sufficient warning before the failure. So that is also an advantage of steel. Now let us see the disadvantages of steel. So the disadvantage being rusting, that is steel easily rusts, and steel loses its strength at high temperatures. So if the temperature is high, steel will start melting and it will start losing its strength. So these are the disadvantages of steel. So till now what we have seen, so we have seen what is meant by so we have seen the main materials which are used in construction, that is the concrete and steel. Now let us discuss regarding the reinforced cement concrete. So what is meant by reinforced cement concrete? So what we have already discussed, that the plain cement concrete, that is the concrete is very strong in compression and it is very weak in tension. Is it or not? So that is the advantage what we have learned in the previous slide, that is concrete has a very good compressive strength and it has very low tensile strength, that is the disadvantage. For example, here let us consider a plain cement concrete beam. So here if you see, here for suppose I am considering a plain cement concrete beam. Okay, so this is the plain cement concrete beam. So if some external load is acting on the beam, so what is happening here? So you can observe here. So if some load is acting on the beam, the beam is bending like this and the topmost part is under compression and the bottommost part is under tension. Is it or not? So what we have discussed previously, that is concrete is strong in compression. Okay, so the concrete is strong in compression, so it is resisting and it is weak in tension. So if you see here, it is weak in tension. So due to that, what is happening? You can observe the cracks are being formed in the tensile zone. Is it or not? So the cracks are being formed in the tensile zone as concrete is weak in tension. So to improve the tensile strength of the concrete, okay, what we have to do? We have to provide some reinforcement so that the reinforcement will take all the tensile stresses which are developed in this particular structure. Okay, why? Because if load is applied, here it is compression and tension. So what is happening? Here it is okay, in the compression zone it is okay, but in the tensile zone it is producing cracks so that the structure might fail. Okay, the plain cement concrete beam, it might fail. Okay, so to improve this particular tensile strength of the concrete, what we have to do? Some material has to be placed in this, some reinforcing material has to be placed in the tensile zone so that all the tensile stresses, okay, developed in the tensile zone are taken by the reinforcement which is provided, because the topmost part is in compression and the bottom part is in tension. So for increasing the tensile strength of the concrete, the reinforcing steel is placed in the tensile zone. So here what we are doing in the tensile zone, we are providing the reinforcing steel. So that what happens, even though if load is applied, as concrete is good in compression, in the compression zone, it will be safe. And as we have provided reinforcement in the tensile zone, okay, even though if the tensile forces are acting here in the tensile zone, this steel reinforcement is going to take up all the tensile stresses and it is going to resist. So that what is happening at this portion, that is in the tensile zone also, the concrete is becoming stronger, isn't it or not? So this composite mass of concrete and steel is called as reinforced cement concrete. So what previously this is only the plain cement concrete. We don't have any reinforcing steel. So that is the reason why it is strong in compression and weak in tension. Now what, to make this particular plain cement concrete stronger in tension also, what we are doing, we are introducing the reinforcing steel here. So that what we have here, we have two materials here. One material is being the concrete and the other material is being the steel. So this composite mass of concrete and steel is called as the reinforced cement concrete, RCC, because we are reinforcing the plain cement concrete with some reinforcement. So it is called as RCC. Now what we have discussed, we have seen that we are placing the reinforcement in the tensile zone. So to improve the tensile property of the concrete, reinforced cement concrete is a composite mass of concrete and steel, which gives us the RCC, which is reinforced cement concrete. Now let us see why steel reinforcement is only used as a reinforcing material in the concrete. Why not the other materials? So why steel? Why are we using steel only as a reinforcing material in the plain cement concrete? So many traditional materials such as bamboo, natural fibers and all were previously used as a reinforcing material. But out of all those things, but out of all the materials, steel has found to be the most appropriate form of reinforcement which can be used in the RCC. So why steel has found to be the most appropriate material? One thing is, as steel has a very good tensile strength, that is, steel is very strong in tension. Okay, that is the first thing. And the second one is the coefficient of thermal expansion for the concrete as well as the steel is same. So for that reason also steel is used as a reinforcing material in RCC. And the next one being, the concrete develops very good bond with the steel. So that is the other reason why steel is used as a reinforcing material. One thing is, it develops a good bond with the concrete. The coefficient of thermal expansion for the concrete as well as the steel is same, and the steel is very good in tension. That is, it has very good tensile properties. That is, it is very strong in tension. Now, let us see the definition of RCC. So, RCC is what? It is a composite material which is made up of concrete and steel reinforcement. Okay. So, how steel is generally used in RCC? Steel is generally used in the form of steel bars. That is, in the form of steel bars, and that too the steel bars are placed in the tensile zone of the structural member so that it can take up all the tensile stresses which are developed in the structural member. And so for that reason, what? RCC is a versatile construction material which is strong both in compression as well as tension, because concrete and steel, concrete is good in compression and steel is good in tension. So RCC is such a kind of material which is good in good in both compression as well as the tension. So due to the use of the reinforcement, it not only increases the strength but also helps in preventing the temperature and shrinkage stresses which are developing in the concrete. Now let us see the advantages of RCC. The advantages of RCC being, the first one is the strength. So the reinforced cement concrete has a very good strength in both compression as well as the tension. So that is, it is very good in tension as well as the compression. The next advantage is durability. So RCC structures has very long life if they are designed properly and laid properly. So if the design of the RCC, if it is done properly, and if the casting and all, curing and all, if it is done properly, the RCC structures has a longer life of up to 100 years. So that is the advantage, is being RCC structures are durable. The next advantage is moldability. So moldability in the sense is what? You can mold the reinforced cement concrete in any desired shape you want, if that particular formwork is available. So you have to make the formwork as per the shape which is required, and to that shape you can get the reinforced cement concrete structure. So the advantage is being the moldability. Okay. So if any architectural considerations are also there, easily as per the requirement you can easily mold, and that desired shape can be that desired shape can be easily and that particular desired shape can be given. The next one is the ductility. So as the steel reinforcement is placed in the tensile zone, it imparts ductility to the RCC structures. The next one is economy. So when compared to the other structures like pre-stressed concrete structures or steel structures, the RCC structures are economical, and also the maintenance cost for the RCC structures is less when compared to the other materials like steel and pre-stressed concrete. So the advantage is being it is economical. The next advantage is being transportation. So the raw materials which are required for RCC like cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and all are easily available, and they can be easily transported. And nowadays we can see the ready mix concrete also, which is easily available and easily transported. So the other advantage is being the transportation. The next advantage is fire resistance. So, RCC structures has a very good fire resistant property. They can even withstand the higher temperatures. So, when compared to the other materials like steel or wood, RCC structures has a better fire resistant property. So, the other advantage is being the permeability. So, RCC structures are mostly impermeable to moisture. That is, they doesn't allow the moisture to go through it mostly until unless cracks and all are being formed. If it is properly designed and properly casted and all, they are mostly impermeable to moisture. And the next advantages is seismic resistance. So, if RCC structures are designed to resist the seismic forces, they can resist the earthquakes also. They are most resistant to the earthquakes also. So, that is also an advantage. So, now let us see the disadvantages of RCC. So, the disadvantages of RCC is, the first one is the RCC structures are heavier when compared to the other structures which are made of materials like steel, wood or glass, etc. Because they look heavier, the weight of the RCC structures are heavier. So, that is an disadvantage of RCC. And the RCC needs a lot of formwork, centering and shuttering. So, for doing all these things, skilled labor and a lot of site and space is required. Why? Because if RCC construction is to be done, so to support that we need all these things. The formwork is required, centering and shuttering, everything is required. So, to do all these things, so a lot of space, site as well as the skilled labor are required. So, that is a disadvantage of RCC. And the next disadvantage of RCC is the reinforced cement concrete. It takes some time to attain its full strength. So, after the pouring of the concrete, the RCC structures cannot be directly put into the use. So, it required some minimum time for gaining its sufficient strength. So, that the disadvantage is being they cannot be put into use after the casting of the structures. Like if it is a steel structure, what all the fabricated parts will be brought and they will be joined, and immediately that particular steel structure can be put into use. But RCC structures are not like that. A minimum time has to be given to that, so that it sufficiently gets hardened, then only we can put that particular structure into use. So, that is a disadvantage of RCC. Now, let us see the difference between the PCC and RCC. So, if we will see the differences, plain cement concrete is the concrete in which you will have cement, sand and water, which is strong in compression and weak in tension, which we have discussed till now. But RCC is what? Here we are reinforcing it with some reinforcing material, so that it is strong in compression as well as tension. Okay. And so, the PCC design mix are generally below M20, that is M5, 7.5, M10 and M15. As I have mentioned already, the minimum grade of concrete to be used for RCC is M20. So, from M20, 25, 30, 35 and so on, the minimum design mix for RCC. And the next one is, in constructions generally the PCC used for footings, plinth, beams and flooring sector. But the RCC is used for the main structural elements like the columns, beams, footings, slabs and retaining walls. For all the main structural elements, the reinforced cement concrete is used. and generally the thickness of PCC lies in between 50 to 75 mm, but here the thickness of RCC depends upon the design what we have done. So depends upon the design requirements. So generally the mixed proportions what we'll use for PCC is 1:2:4, 1:3:6 and 1:4:8. But in RCC the nominal mix or the design mix proportions are taken which are based on the requirements. Okay, so based on the requirements of the constructions we are going to take the mix proportions, and the units for PCC is cubic meter, and as well as for the RCC also it is cubic meter. So these are the differences between the PCC and the RCC. So till now what we have seen right from the starting, we have seen what is meant by structure and what are the different structural elements. We have seen the materials mostly used in the construction, and we have seen what is meant by the RCC. Now the advantages and disadvantages of RCC. Now we'll see the applications of the RCC. So where you can see the RCC structures. So the RCC structures can be so here are the examples of the RCC structures. So you can see we have multi-storied buildings constructed with RCC. We have dams, we have culverts, we have water tanks, we have bunkers, we have silos, we have shells, we have retaining walls. So all these are the examples of structures which are constructed with the material RCC, that is the reinforced cement concrete. Thank you.